Google.com or Alexa, however you want to do it. That's question one. How are you listening to the show? Question two, where are you listening from? And then number three is describe Josh Hubbard's performance. I started it with electric. I'm sure that had already been used, but we tweeted that out before the show. And 39 minutes played, 0 turnovers. What?
You said that's the most efficient basketball performance we've ever seen in the state. That might just be the most efficient performance we've ever seen, period. Outside of a perfect game that I don't think we've had one.
Well, every team plays 18 SEC games this year. It will be the most efficient performance out of any team, out of any player, even if it's Florida or some of the better teams in the conference.
Yeah. You know, the plus minus.
Bama,
stat.
who won last night because Doug Shows is awful. Arkansas, who lost by 2 last night in an epic game, 117-115. Arkansas is playing 2 walk-ons at the end because Doug Shows, you can't go 7 seconds in a Doug Shows called basketball game without a foul. I mean, the stoppage of play is already ridiculous in the world of college basketball because we don't need timeouts at 16, 12, 8, and 4 and 5 timeouts apiece for each coach. That's per half. I mean, that's not counting a foul or the ball going out of bounds.
Jeez.
Okay, and then you give me Doug Shows. What are we doing? Anyway, I'm not going to do that. It's a fun day. It's a historic day. Whenever somebody does this in the state of Mississippi, we want to recognize, tip of the cap. It's Josh Hubbard Day. For the legislators that are going down, hopefully, to cut the budget as much as they can and not spend our taxpayers' money, go ahead and just right out of the gate, whenever you bang the gavel or whatever it's called, you don't even need more than about an hour or an hour and a half. Just make it Josh Hubbard Day by 10 a.m. today.
There you go.
Even though the House and Senate can't agree on anything, I think that they can agree on this. We are making February 19th Josh Hubbard Day. I just had a senator text me, so I'm challenging him. Let's have Josh Hubbard Day by lunch today.
There you go.
And give him a key to Starkville and deed him half the town to keep him. You know how we talked about what you had to do to keep Trinidad? They basically deeded him half the town.
Mm-hmm.
Got to keep Hub for next year. You got to raise the floor. You got to find a combo 3-4 and a combo 2-3. And then, you can win some games. And 2 more assistant coaches and a general manager. That's a lot. Don't know how that's going to work.
That's so many things to hit.
You're going to have to check a lot of boxes for all that to work. We'll see if it does. Josh Hubbard, 46 points, 15 of 27 from the field, 10 of 16 from 3, 9 boards, 3 assists, played 39-plus minutes, no turnovers.
That's incredible. He did.
I'm speechless.
He did something like this last year, too, though.
Oh, he's had some ridiculous games against Tennessee and Auburn and Ole Miss and keep naming them.
And these are good opponents, man.
I mean, what he did against Reed at Kentucky, I mean, they went back and forth, and Reed hits a shot with no time on the clock. They were incredible. And he's yet to play with another scorer since he's been there. I mean, I know that there was a window where Keyshawn got rolling last year. We called it a year and a half before that ever happened. And Keyshawn was another one. I mean, he developed on his own. Obviously, Hub came ready-made. That is rare in this state. I mean, how many kids have signed in-state or out-of-state and not been ready, right? And because they just didn't have the competition or coaching. Hub is one of those guys. I know Chris Jackson was ready day one 1,000,000 years ago, and there's been a few others. Well, actually Q.
Yeah, Q.
I mean, Q was overshadowed by Malik, and yet Q comes in
ready.
Day one ready.
Yeah, he didn't play good ball.
But Hubbard has a refined game. Hubbard has a refined game where he comes in and Jans and them didn't have to develop him.
Yeah, he wasn't a Velma Jackson.
And because of his background and playing K through 12,
right,
and playing for a really good coach at MRA and actually getting what you need to get out of AAU, most kids can regress there, but Hubbard, because of his smarts and basketball intellect, he's ready-made when he gets there.
Right.
That is unheard of in the Sun Belt. You get ready-made kids in the Midwest and Northeast. Yeah, UConn.
Oh, yeah.
Georgetown, St. John's, Nova, Xavier, Michigan, those type programs. And, of course, Kentucky and Kansas and Duke and North Carolina. I mean, we know what that is, right? But that is few and far between. And this dude's ready-made. Hey, the show is brought, speaking of, let's go with the, you want to celebrate Josh Hubbard, bone-in ribeye, medium rare, bacon-wrapped shrimp, and Elijah Craig bourbon at Kessler Prime and the Renaissance, KesslerPrime.com to make a reservation. We want to hear from you. We love you. Thanks for listening to the show. We've got Diamond Dave Bartu on at 9:30 to go over some coaching rankings. Better buckle up. We'll go over OCDC grades and pairings in the Southeastern Conference. I don't want to surprise you who's got the best. Do you want me to give you like 5 seconds to guess?
Probably down there in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, it's Lane and when you take head coach, DC, and OC, and special teams coordinator, it's LSU. Josh is talking about Keyshawn Murphy's performance. How about Hubbard popping that uniform on Keyshawn?
Uh-huh.
Now, Hub did everything he could, because nobody else was. He did everything he could to retain and recruit Keyshawn. But the staff had not cultivated the right relationship with him. Obviously, he didn't have a good performance last night. This Stephen Pearl experiment, we've talked about the Jeff Levy experiment in Starkville. This Stephen Pearl experiment down on the plains in Auburn, yeah, I know.
Ain't working out.
It's like a big pile of, cow, what, in July in a Mississippi pasture. Woo! Goodness. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Man, what a performance.
I'll believe in Auburn and love it. War Eagle.
I don't know about that. I don't know if they believe in Auburn. I'm just not sure that that's the case. You know? They look to be in shambles as an athletic department. They have Alex Golish as their head football coach. That's about as exciting as some of the other coaches that we talk about in the league. I mean, nobody's excited about that.
No. I'll believe in Auburn and love it. War Eagle.
Hey, who's your football coach? Alex Golish? Let me take a nap. I mean, who's your basketball coach? Stephen Pearl? Yeah, that's working out.
Nepotism.
And then they don't really care about baseball. I mean, Butch Thompson's a hell of a coach, but they don't care about that. So,
and they're good. But they've been good.
Oh, they've been good. But you know, they're in a bad spot. So we are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. It's Josh Hubbard Day. We're hoping to make that official here in the next couple hours. But we've made it as far as since we set the table for sports every day, every morning. It is Josh Hubbard Day officially on the Out of Bounds Show and ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Right? We can do that. You feel good about that?
Yeah, I mean, of course.
46 points, 39 minutes played, 0 turnovers. 0 turnovers?
Casual.
God.
How?
And you look up and down, like, let's see what the free throws were.
He was good. 6 of 9, I think.
Auburn shot 31 free throws. Mississippi State shot 17.
Wow.
I mean, they got whistle happy in the second half trying to get Auburn a dub. Jeez. I don't know why. But, you know, Keyshawn Hall was 9 of 11 from the free throw line. Murphy was 5 of 6.
Yeah.
Hell, Overton 3 of 4 and Pettiford 4 of 4.
They shot well.
Well, they shot 81%, you know, from the free throw line. And Mississippi State shot 17. So.
Shots, not percent.
No, percentage, they shot 76%.
Okay, yeah,
I'm sorry. They shot 17 free throws total.
Gotcha.
They were 13 of 17.
Okay.
Wasn't a lot of turnovers. 8 for Auburn, 6 for Mississippi State. And Hub had 0.
It's a rare thing to say in college basketball.
Yeah.
Basketball, period.
Yes, especially college basketball, no doubt.
But, I mean, that many times, I mean, because he touches the ball every possession, right? Like, the ball's in his hand. And, you figure at least one time you may dribble it off your foot.
Sure.
May do, I don't know.
Or just throw it in. I mean, sometimes you throw it in the stands.
There's many, many ways you can have a turnover that doesn't look that bad.
Well, we got a text that, you led Clinton dribbling it off your foot.
Yeah, you got the wrong text.
You know?
You got the wrong guy.
I mean, I know you you may have shot a lot. I know you didn't have a handle.
When I tell you, Mr. Efficiency is pretty much what they should have called me.
Nobody has ever thought about calling you Mr. Efficiency in anything you do.
That's probably true. That's fair.
I mean,
fair. Well, there's a couple of things I was efficient at.
Okay.
We retired from them.
Hey, speaking of, I went by the Rogue Men's store yesterday just to say hey to the group. They've got the Hail State Baseball Omaha collection by Peter Millar. Hoodies, quarter zips, and golf shirts at the Rogue Men's store, I-55 North Jackson. All right, so the Omaha, they've got the M over S on the left chest, and then some really cool logos on the sleeves of the pullovers, hoodies, and golf shirts. So it's the Omaha collection, Hail State Baseball, Omaha collection by Peter Millar at the Rogue Men's store. You better go ahead and get yours today. Now you can call, you can go online and order. Okay. Whatever you want to do. The Rogue Men's store, the Rogue Men's store, the Rogue Men's store, ROGUE. And you can call, they'll ship you one, or you can order online.
I need a hookup, Bo.
So, okay.
Big loop.
All right. So here's what else we got. We got Diamond Dave Bartu at 9:30 on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. And Josh Hubbard is the toast of the town. And the SEC Network did a really good job of giving the dude pub. And I wish you were in that 17 to 18 win range, but you're not. Now you're 5-8. You've got some winnable games left. So maybe you can at least, finish on a good note and then reboot your staff and you got to retain Hubbard and 2 young players and then see what you get in the portal. Georgia's hanging on. I know they don't care. That's interesting. Michael White at Georgia. Kentucky's Jekyll and Hyde, got players. At times they look good. At times you're going, what in the hell's going on? Buckyball is hanging in there. They're in position. Vandy's taking some losses now. They lost last night. Yeah. But you're going to do, they're still 21-5 and so on.
They got a small point guard.
Yeah. They got a little dude who can move.
Another guy, if he had 3 inches, he'd probably be a lottery pick.
Right. And the little dude, my favorite player, and I cannot believe I can't remember him at Tennessee. He abused Mississippi State. Somebody gave us front row courtside seats 3 or 4 years ago, and the little dude, I can't believe I can't remember his name. And then he shredded his ACL the next year, then came back last year and was good again for Rick Barnes. Who else is kind of trending? Of course, Barnes is always in the tournament.
He is.
They're 19-7, 9-4. They're going. Cal, Arkansas got hosed last night by an officiating crew that should never call a 5th and 6th grade game, much less an SEC team. Bama won 117-115. I know some of you were watching that game too. And I like Cal's team. I do. I like the Razorbacks. I like their pieces. And if Cal doesn't get in the way, and if he doesn't suffocate his talent, that team could be dangerous. And then, of course, you got Nate Oates, who's going to win. He's always going to be in the tournament. That was a hell of a hire by Greg Byrne. He was at Buffalo. And I know they went on a run, but Byrne had some other options. And he goes and gets Nate Oates, and they got it going on. And we've talked about Todd Golden at I always say Golding with Pete Golding at Ole Miss. Todd Golden at Florida, and they've got some really nice pieces. And they can play inside outside. And when you can do that in college basketball, you are dangerous. And Florida's 20-6 and 11. They're in. They're playing for seeding.
Right.
And they're hunting seeding big time because they would love to be way, 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 way up there. Can't wait. And look at what Sean Miller's doing. We'll see what Texas wants to do down the stretch, but Sean Miller's been filthy at Xavier in Arizona.
He has.
And he's kind of like Beard. You get him in the dance, and he starts winning games.
Starts dancing.
Well, what is more fun than your team punching their ticket to March Madness? We're going to have a great time regardless, and I'm going to have to pick a team to roll with, and I'm not sure which one it's going to be. I'm going to have to pick an SEC team and then a team outside of the SEC. And you know how I am. I always pick a point guard. Davis at North Carolina a few years ago, and I gotta figure that out as we get closer. Is that guy who won the bowl pick'em ever going to get in touch with us?
I'll figure it out.
We got to give him this turtle box from Rick's Pro Truck and the other gift certificates. Diamond Dave Bartu at 9:30. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds show. ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We're streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app. Out of Bounds radio app. Download it. You can listen to the show anytime, anywhere. Show is brought to you, but let's go lunch today is Taste Italian Kitchen in the Renaissance. If you're looking for their specialty sandwiches are absolutely amazing. Did you know that the Taste crew went and spent several weeks in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and New York City, and went to some of the best sandwich shops and restaurants in the country and tried hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sandwiches? And then they came up with their menu here. Then last summer, I was able to meet, it was a crew of 8 of us, met for 2 days and tried like 30 sandwiches, which was a ton of fun for me because I love eating and I love R&D, which nobody does R&D like us, right? And then we got to grade it. We had to write down what we thought about every single sandwich. Super fun.
Yeah, man, this was business. That's a business trip.
I don't mean they made one trip to Philadelphia and New York, to these iconic sandwich places up in the Northeast. They made multiple trips up there. Then we got to try them for 2 straight days at Taste Italian Kitchen in Starkville. And then, of course, they opened last summer in Ridgeland in the Renaissance. Today, so I would highly recommend start to go through their specialty sandwiches. I mean, they fly in the bread from the Northeast. I mean, it's the real deal. And so, yeah, but they've got wonderful wood-fired pizzas and the bolognese and you know, charcuterie board and calamari. TasteItalianKitchen.com for the win for lunch. And you'll need most of the time you're going to need a reservation. I mean, I went in there late this week for lunch to do the soup and salad, and it was still rolling, and it was after 1 o'clock. You'll need to go to TasteItalianKitchen.com to make a reservation. The SEC Insider Hit this morning is brought to you by the Bagley College of Engineering on the campus of Mississippi State University. And this is pretty awesome. They have a BS in cybersecurity degree that has seen tremendous enrollment growth over the past 3 years. And students are supported by various national scholarship programs, such as the National Science Foundation, CyberCorps, Scholarship for Service, and the Department of Defense Cyber Service Academy. All right? And these programs provide selected students pursuing cybersecurity careers a stipend and full tuition waiver. This is pretty cool, what is happening on the campus at Mississippi State. Programs like these expand the federal government's cybersecurity workforce by recruiting the nation's most highly trained cybersecurity talent at Mississippi State University and the Bagley College of Engineering. Go ahead and schedule your private tour on the campus of Mississippi State with you and your child, son or daughter, and check out the Bagley College of Engineering on the campus at Mississippi State. Petroleum engineering, biochemical, biomedical, nuclear, and so on. Chemical engineering, all at Mississippi State University. We are the Out of Bounds show. What you got?
No, I was going to say, they'll probably give me a phone call later on.
I think they looked at your transcripts and said, we got to have that guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a necessity.
The only thing I did was I would walk, when I had to go number one, I would walk through the Swam building, which was the chemical engineering building. Yeah. Mr. Swam gave like over $20 million in 1995 or 6 to build this state-of-the-art building that was then completed in around 90. By the time I got into grad school, maybe it was 98, and like it just opened. And it mirrors Lee Hall on the drill field. So they're 2 beautiful buildings. Right. And I would go through there. The only thing they would allow me to do is go to the restroom. Yeah. Because there was so much brain power in there. I had to get out of there because I had no business being in there.
Bringing the collective IQ down a little bit.
I remember stopping and I would listen for just a minute and I'd be like, I don't know what they're talking about, but it sounds awesome. Yeah. We are the Out of Bounds show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, brought to you by Key City, Mississippi Queen Beer, Key City, Mi Vida, I had a Key City curse at Taste Italian Kitchen. So they've got great beer out of Vicksburg. You can find it at restaurants and bars and grocery stores, including Fleetway Market and the Market Cafe in Gluckstadt. Fleetway Market and the Market Cafe in Gluckstadt is a great place for lunch, but it's also to get Key City beer. All right, let's get into some football. And then, we did Hubbard. We did the Josh Hubbard thing for an hour and a half. SEC football is an interesting place, isn't it? We don't have a dominant team, and we were used to having that for some time. We really went from Spurrier dominating in the 90s. It was kind of a mix in the early 2000s, although Saban, before leaving to go to Miami at LSU, wins a national championship and got that thing rolling. He just didn't stay too long.
Right.
Then Urban Meyer goes to Florida. And it was quick, but it was a hell of a run with 2 national championships. And then, of course, y'all all know Saban comes back into the league and builds it at Alabama. And then for a kind of a red-hot minute, kind of like Urban at Florida, although he's not going to burn out, is Kirby gets it rolling for about a 5 or 6 year window and wins 2 national championships and plays for another. And in between all that, you had the historic, iconic LSU team of 2019 with Burrow and the 2 wide receivers and Joe Brady and Dave Aranda as their coordinators, and that all lined up, and LSU won it. Now we've gone 3 years without winning the national championship, and 3 Big Ten teams have won it. Michigan won it with Harbaugh. Ohio State won it with Ron Day. And then, Indiana just won it with Kurt Signetti. We didn't have an SEC team in the national championship game. And, Georgia's dropped off. Bama's dropped off. LSU's dropped off. Florida's been, off the grid for a while, since maybe Dan's next to last year when he took them to a New Year's Six bowl game, and played in the SEC championship game against Bama. And Texas went to the college football playoff twice, but, just totally wasted opportunities for Texas, losing to Washington in a semifinal game. As Sark, you got to do better. So now here we sit, and everybody's like, well, who is our team? And we don't have one. Who is now? Do I think that LSU could be in the hunt this year? I do. Lane's the best head coach currently in the league, and with Kirby a close 1A, and then Lane's at LSU, and he's a top offensive coordinator in the league, and he's a top 5 head coach nationally and the number 1 head coach, in the SEC.
Did you just give him the nod? Did you give him the nod over? Did you just give Lane the nod over Kirby?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Mike Elko though?
What about him?
He had a chance to make a run for the national championship this year.
Right. Miami took his manhood.
Yep.
Straight.
So,
you don't think that he's going to be a player in the game for the next 5 years? Or next 3 to 5 years?
They're going to have wonderful, amazing talent. No, not yet, but it could change. No, I don't. He has not proven to me that I should count him in the Kiffin Smart. He's not even close, but he's trending the right way. Other than it looks like he made some really kind of vanilla hires as OC and DC. He decided to promote. What do coaches always say? Well, this guy's earned it. Well,
that's trash.
Well, when you're A&M and you had unlimited funds and resources, you go and hire the best of the best. But that's not the way coaches do. But Kiffin does. Even Kirby with Schumann, I don't understand. as defensive coordinator. Now, I understand that Kirby has his fingerprints all over the defense, but I still think he lets Schumann do too much at Georgia. Now, they don't have the same personnel they've had since 2022. Okay, I mean they had nobody special on defense, nobody as an edge rusher that you said, oh my God, none of that with Georgia. But you've got Lane and Kirby, and then there's a massive drop off, and then I guess you start talking DeBoer and some others, and Heupel. Yeah, he's done a good job. They want to get rid of him, which is funny or crazy. Who are you going to replace him with?
Right.
Hey, I want to get rid of Josh Heupel. Okay, who are you going to hire? Alex Golich?
I mean,
right?
Hey man, what they look
Ryan Silverfield?
A sizzle.
What are we going to do?
Stay away from that.
So I think the league is again going to be watered down, and great opportunity like it has been the last 3 or 4 years to win. And you're going to see a bunch of losses this year. You're going to see a lot of 8-4, lots and lots and lots of 8-4 and 7-5. And so you can get ready for that. It's weird. It's going to be especially as guys. Women can make the adjustment, but for us guys, it's going to be a tough adjustment for us to understand how many teams are going to go 7-5 and 8-4. And the day and age that last year was the last year of going, 11-1, and really 15 of the 16 teams won't even go 10-2.
Right.
Most years.
All right.
With an extra SEC game, that's going to be, an extra loss plus for each team, depending on who you pull, where you get, and your 5-4 schedule. 5 at home, 4 on the road. Now that you got 9 conference games, but then the years that you only have 4 at home, 5 on the road, even the big boys are going to stumble and end up at 6-6 and 7-5 some years. And if your quarterback gets banged up and misses 4 or 5 games, oof, you're staring at a 4-8 season pretty quick. That's just where we're going to be in college football. And until they expand the playoffs, I don't know how that's going to look for the SEC. I mean, they're going to expand it after this year, but they didn't get it done unless they move the deadline again. I think the last Dellinger article I wrote was curtains at 12. And the SEC wants 16 and the Big Ten wants 24, and they're the ones that decide.
Right.
So now the 2 conference commissioners did the whole kumbaya thing 2 years ago in New Orleans where they signed a pact or some dumb stuff that, they were out at Desi Vegas and, said, oh, we're partnering, blah, blah, blah. And then now it's all falling apart.
All right, take me back a minute ago. You were talking to
But LSU is my running pick for the team. And that may be being number 1 this year, maybe 9-3.
Right.
Okay. I mean, nobody's going 11-1. And I'm not sure anybody's going 10-2. And then yeah, I don't know, man. 10 Power 4 games now. 10 Power 4 games, 9 conference and a non-con P4.
So you're saying Jeff Lebby, he may be gone after this year?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that Lebby's.
On the hot seat, of course. But I'm just saying.
You
6-6. That'd be a great season. But going.
But Steve Robertson said he's got to win 7 to keep his job.
Run it back through me. You were giving me the tiers of the coaches in the SEC.
It's Lane and Kirby, and then there's a drop.
Lane, Kirby.
Then it's DeBoer. Heupel.
No particular order, just tiers.
Right. Then that's it.
All right, that's second tier?
Yeah.
2 guys. All right.
And then the third tier, Summerall.
Wow.
Elko.
Wow.
I don't think Sark's good. He's not a good head coach, and they're regressing, and they're really gonna. It's gonna be a problem in Texas here in about 5 minutes. So Summerall and Elko and Sark.
That's tier 3.
Then tier 4. Then you can just throw all the others together.
Yeah, everyone kind of jump.
Yeah, I mean,
Shane
Silverfield,
Shane Beamer,
Golding, Beamer, Stein, Clark Lee Motors,
whoa.
Golish, Levy. You know, that's the rest of it. Did I miss anybody? Oh God, Venables. I need to put him in. I need to put him in tier 3.
3, okay.
Yeah, with Summerall. Summerall could move up to tier 2 this year, by the way. I'll put Venables in tier 3.
Okay.
I think that was smoke and mirrors last year. Finished 6th in defense, 66th in offense. I mean, they were awful on offense. Just it was terrible.
So you're not going to give Vandy the nod in Clark Lee Motors here?
I'm not.
Wow.
But I give him all the credit in the world
Sure.
of giving his kids generational money by saving his job by hiring half of the New Mexico, I can't remember, Jerry Kill and Diego Pavia and all them. Yeah. I give him all the credit in the world.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. He made himself $20 million more.
Straight up.
He'll get fired in the next year or two because it's not going to, he's not going to sustain this thing. But he'll go to the house with a gazillion. He's already made millions now that he's been there for several years, and then he just signed his new deal. He's absolutely now you're in that I can get fired, and I've got great grandkids money to hand out.
Didn't he just get that number 1 quarterback?
Yes, but he's a freshman. He pulled him from Georgia.
Yeah,
I mean, young people.
I won't stay.
Well, guys don't walk on the field and they're awesome as true freshmen at quarterback. So again, Arch Manning redshirted, didn't play. Then he redshirt freshman, didn't play much. Redshirt sophomore, struggled in his 3rd year. That's why, I hear all this Camario Taylor stuff. I mean, Camario's good and he's got a nice skill set.
Sure.
Let me just say this. He's a true sophomore. Yeah. He is a true sophomore.
Wow.
Now, does he make Fluff better? Does he make the running game better just because you went 2 years without having with Blake Shapen, who's not a threat to run the football, which made no sense. But you decided to not go with the dual threat quarterback when everything in college football since 2002 has told you dual threat QBs work. Outside of statues like Saban could do that because he had a 3-headed monster running back and 5-star offensive lineman 2 deep. Different deal. But Camario will make Fluff and the offensive. See, this is where Gene's Page and Six Pack Speak posters have missed. They have missed because they keep saying, excuse me, they keep saying, hey, the offensive line, your offensive line was adequate enough. They were solid. What was bad was your offensive line coach is not good. He's a 16th ranked offensive line coach in the SEC. And he wears sunglasses at night games.
Yeah, it's bad.
Which is an interesting take. And there were times when Blake Shapen had all day, people only remember some of the whiffs where he did get decleated.
Right.
But I didn't think you did Blake any favors by incorporating more of a short and intermediate passing game so that he gets the ball out on an offensive line that is not overly talented and poorly coached. Camario will make that line better because he can move around.
Yes.
If you use him, and he'll make Fluff. I don't know if you have another SEC running back on the roster, but Fluff is absolutely legit. And I know he never could get back from that ankle injury, but he'll be ready. He's already ready to go, and he'll be way ready to go. And I wouldn't let anybody breathe on him this spring and summer. Because when he was healthy, those first 5-6 games or 7, whatever it was before he looked like he absolutely shattered his ankle, he was good. Camario gives you an opportunity to mask your offensive line deficiencies, whereas a Shapen-style quarterback is not going to give you that opportunity. So if you, like Trinidad could make his offensive line better because he could move. Jackson Dart and Matt Corral could make those offensive line, even though they were more talented than Mississippi State, but still, nobody really has super talented offensive lines anymore because everything's, again, level playing field, spread out, talent, and so on. What you have to hope with Camario and Levy is Camario's ability to run the football opens it up for Fluff and makes the offensive line better. You're right. It's an absolute long shot to get to 6 wins. I don't see 7. I think they slightly upgraded in the portal. I think the problem is you're not raising the floor enough across the board, especially in the line of scrimmage, to get as competitive as you need to be for Levy to keep his job. Now, if he gets to 6, maybe there is a debate on the campus of Mississippi State University of keeping him. I don't know. And I don't, we'll see. But
that schedule's brutal, though.
It is. And but everybody's is now. I will say you've got 3 home games that Levy will have to take advantage of. Conference. Missouri at home, Vanderbilt at home, and Auburn at home. You're going to have to make hay there. You have Missouri at home. These are not going to be teams that are really, really good. I mean, they may be good some Saturdays, but their ceiling, those 3 teams, their ceiling is pretty good. And I doubt all 3 will not be pretty good. I mean, one may be average, one may be slightly solid, and then the other may be pretty good. But Missouri, Vanderbilt, and Auburn at home is where you make hay. If you don't take care of business there, you will be in a coaching search after the battle for the Golden Egg. You'll get on the bus in Oxford after probably getting beat, and a few hours later, you could be in a coaching search if you don't take advantage of Missouri at home. Actually, it's 4 teams because I don't expect this next team I'm going to name, they're not going to be that good. Missouri at home, Oklahoma at home, Vanderbilt at home, and Auburn at home. That's great opportunities to make hay. Can you do it? Are you a good enough coaching staff? Are you going to do enough strength and conditioning wise and development wise to make hay with those 4 home games? Because your away games, whatever. Can you hold serve at home against 4 teams that are going to be far from really good? Missouri, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, Auburn. I don't even know who's going to be the best out of those 4. I kind of lean Venables, but again, they were 66th in offensive scoring efficiency. I mean, it was hard to watch them on offense. Now, they were salty on defense because Venables is a dude on the defensive side of the ball. Your reaction. The SEC Insider Hit this morning is brought to you by Fowler GMC. In your next GMC Sierra truck, GMC Yukon. FowlerGMC.com, Pearl Brandon. I was there yesterday, too. You've got to look at these vehicles, the Sierra trucks and Yukons. FowlerGMC.com. Diamond Dave at 9:30.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
This is Alan Warner.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9. All set? Let's go. The Zone.
Clown acts. A guy named Sliced Bread.
We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Show is brought to you by Pearl River Resort and the Golden Moon Casino Sportsbook. Vegas-style sportsbook. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Show is also presented by Juniker Jewelry Store, Madison, Highland Colony. Your next bracelet, necklace, engagement ring, Juniker Jewelry Store in Madison. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Straight Funk with me. Wes may or may not be here. We're rolling on going into the weekend. You got Mudbugs is open on the reservoir, downtown Brandon. More college baseball and, some excitement around college. It's weird, People are fired up about this Josh Hubbard performance, as they should be. But man, what a missed opportunity by the program. He went on a little cold stretch and now he's just abusing people, and he has no help. And it's impressive. It really is. And
one more player.
Yeah,
one.
That's it. And Mississippi State fans are loving that Keyshawn Murphy didn't play well. Keyshawn Murphy played 32 minutes. He had 7 points, not 17, 7 points, 1 of 7 from the field, and 11 rebounds. 5 of 6 from the free throw line. That's where he scored most of his points. So 11 boards in 32 minutes, 7 points, and Mississippi State beat Auburn. Is Stephen Pearl going to be one and done?
Man,
I wonder what his buyout is. I wonder how Cohen structured that when Bruce dumped that on him. And I don't remember when that was. Was it October or was it September? Whenever Bruce pulled I'm retiring, but you have to hire my son to at least make him a multimillionaire for a year. The Golden Moon Casino text line, 601-885-3776.
Got it.
Find us on X at Bo Bounds. Tweet to us at Bo Bounds. Love for you to give us a follow. Hang out with us on the Twitters. Find us on X at Bo Bounds. And the Budweiser caller line, that is a great beer. Budweiser and burgers or wings on the grill tonight for the win. The Budweiser caller line is 601-707-3750. What do you got?
Buyout.
Okay.
Stephen Pearl.
Okay.
Is 50% of the contract if terminated without cause.
What's he making? $4.5 million a year?
3-year, 5-year contract signed September 22nd, runs through April 30th, 2030 with $3 million a year. The incentives can get him up there.
Okay.
The incentives are 1.1.
So half of that is $6 million, basically.
Yep.
Okay. Or is it mitigated through the first year?
Yeah,
taking that $3 million out, $9 million still on the thing,
yes.
$4.5 million.
And after this
buyout.
year, you're taking. Oh, this is year one, but yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll see if he makes it another year. They may just drop whatever that is. Right. We're trying to figure that out, but let's just say roughly $4.5 million, give or take, and he may not make it another year. Do we have time to drop Jay Billis on Bediako? If for those of you, I know all y'all followed the Trinidad Chambliss. He's eligible through the courts last week, but we've got cases. Joey Aguilar. We've had this Bediako guy who was NBA G League, and he came back to Alabama for 5 minutes and played. Jay Billis went to Duke, went to law school, fantastic college basketball analysts talking about the eligibility cases and framing up the Bediako case with Alabama.
We will get you out of here on this. A judge this week denied Charles Bediako an injunction that would have let him continue playing at Alabama. You are a lawyer. Where do you think we will end up on players putting their pro pursuits on hold to return to college?
I think, Tony, we've got an issue where the NCAA doesn't have eligibility rules that are based on any principle. There's no age limit in college sports. I'm not saying there should be, but people are complaining about that. And we have similarly situated players that are treated differently. You have international players that never matriculated to college but played pro basketball and made a lot of money, and they're eligible. And you've got players that are international in nature, didn't go to college, went through the draft, and the NCAA deems them eligible. I don't see a major difference between Charles Bediako and those players, except for the fact that he went to school. And I have a little bit of a problem with the way this has been handled. Certainly the way it's been criticized. Like, Charles Bediako didn't do anything wrong. He just wants to go to school and play ball. But and I'm not sure Alabama did anything wrong either, honestly. He got a court ruling. They let him play while the court said he was eligible. They're not playing him when the court ruled that he's not. But in my view, if the NCAA wants to make this about players of a certain age, then say that college sports is for undergraduate students only, and you have a 6-year window after your high school class graduates. Problem solved. At least that would be based on some kind of principle. But there's so many exceptions out there, and the NCAA is making those exceptions, that to single out Charles Bediako of Alabama as some sort of villain in this, I think has been wrong on the part of those that have done that.
Man.
Bam.
I mean,
Jay Billis with ESPN, played at Duke, went to law school, practices law still to this day while doing all of his basketball duties, framed it up well. And he's right. Bediako didn't do anything.
No.
He just wanted to be eligible.
Yeah.
Why not? And he let the courts decide. And one court said yes, so he played. And then another court said no, and Alabama pulled him.
That's right.
It's that, it's that simple.
I mean, they had Nate Oates as a villain. They did not like that. I don't get it.
I don't know how.
They hated it.
Who?
The people.
Who are the people?
The national, for the other people, the report. They were salty. They were real salty.
Who was salty?
I think it was ex-coaches.
Or you?
No, they were salty. They were real salty.
Like, fans were salty if you had to play Alabama while Bediako was eligible. Because that's how we are as fans.
Right.
Well, that's not fair. Okay, right? That's how we do it. But the bottom line is, he got the court ruling in favor. He played. And then when the next court said, no, you're not eligible, they pulled him. I like the way Billis was just matter of fact. Here's the deal. Guys are going to continue to do this. And I think he nailed it in the beginning. The NCAA has it laid out. What are the eligibility parameters? You're going to let the European players do this, but then we're going to throw a fit over Bediako. What? We'll
let the boy play. Do you like the 6-year thing that Billis mentioned, like the 6-year window?
I'm okay with it.
Okay. I just feel like
I need to see more.
Yeah.
I need to see more of how when Billis, any of them say this, and this.
What it looks.
I need to see once it's all settled exactly what it looks like.
No doubt.
We're all throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lose any. I haven't, in the last 4 weeks, I haven't gone to bed at night thinking, oh God, Charles Bediako's playing basketball. I'm not going to be able to sleep.
Well, maybe that's the problem.
Or Trinidad Chambliss or anybody else. Or Joey Aguilar. Or when Diego Pavia went to court and said my JUCO shouldn't count. Dave Bartu is already up and texting me. This is going to be fire. Some of you are going to like it. Some of you are not. Diamond Dave Bartu, Matrix Analytical, coming up at 9:30. You got what, 0.2 seconds? Oh, man, good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds show.
Never say never, but never.
It's what they're saying in Auburn with Stephen Pearl, aren't they?
Never say never, but never.
Or are they saying this?
I'll believe in Auburn and love it. War Eagle.
Now, you got tattooed last night at Humphrey Coliseum by one guy. He single-handedly beat you. It is Josh Hubbard Day in the state of Mississippi. We've made it official. We're hoping the House and Senate in the Mississippi Capitol get that done by 10 a.m. And I know they can't agree on anything, but we're hoping that they can agree in the fact that Josh Hubbard is electric. That's in all caps. And he dropped 46 points. He played 39 minutes with 0 turnovers. Say that out loud. You should say it all day.
You think Jay?
He had 9 rebounds.
Yeah.
Jay Med, do you think you go for 39, 49, 47?
He should have shot it more. They did nothing for him in the second half when Auburn adjusted.
That's correct.
On the offensive end, which is unbelievable to me. And seriously, it's I can't even wrap my brain around the fact that he scored 35 points in the first half, and Auburn adjusted, and nothing was done on the Mississippi State side. It's insane to me. Shane Powers, like the degree of difficulty that he has to go through to score compared to what other teams, it's just unbelievable.
Give the man a screen or something.
Yeah, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Dave Bartu's up. He's ready. We'll go 24 minutes on SEC football. We talked about earlier, you've got Lane Kiffin and Kirby Smart, and then there's a drop-off. Tier 2's not real awesome. Tier 3 and 4 is just burn it. I don't know if you've got like a rock star on the way up that can be like the next Lane. I don't necessarily know if you have that in the league. Like Lane Kiffin has he's solidified himself as a big-time coach in college football. Kirby Smart has been one. It's not easy to do. So I recognize that. It's hard to win. Look at what Harbaugh had to go through at Michigan to get where he wanted to go.
He had to cheat.
Well,
that's what he did. That's what they said he did.
But, he's one of the best coaches on the planet when it comes to coaching football, and especially on the field, fundamentals, developing especially the most premium positions. Jim Harbaugh is amazing.
He is.
But think about what Harbaugh had to go through to get where he wanted to go at Michigan, and finally beat Ohio State, finally get in where they wanted to go and get to the college football playoff and win it. Kirby's got 2 national championships. Lane will be in the college football playoff at LSU whether it's this year or at some point really, really soon. He'll make multiple appearances before taking an NFL job at some point. Kirby does have to I think Kirby's got to, figure some things out. But Georgia's not in near the bad position as Texas is, okay? So Sark, that's going to end up going the wrong way. It'll play out, blah, blah, blah. There was a window, I guess, maybe there for Sark to go to the NFL. Probably should have. But
he can go back as an OC, you don't think?
Oh, yeah, but
you're talking about head coach? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I think after the back-to-back playoff appearances, he was trending towards getting hot.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And had he been able to really capitalize on that, like we know Lane is going to do,
right?
Then you could position yourself, now that the college game is so much mirrors the pro game with general managers and roster construction. I think that Sark, had he Sark has been regressing the last 3 years on offense. The defense has absolutely and totally carried them. And who was the dude before Arch? Remember?
Quinn.
Yeah. He got hurt his last year. He went a little back and forth. Arch took over for a few games.
Right.
But Quinn Ewers was, with Quinn and Arch, they've regressed.
Yeah.
And so I don't know who the next guy could be. Yeah, I think you thought it could be Elko, but I'm not sure he made any good hires at OC and DC this past year. I think they finished 18th or 19th in offensive scoring efficiency last year, and then like 60th in defensive scoring efficiency. They really weren't that good on defense, even though they had players.
What about Alex Golish? I mean, you don't think that he has a chance to make that next tier that you're talking about? I mean,
no.
Okay, you don't think that because of talent that's coming to Auburn?
I mean, he may look. Any of somebody could surprise me. I mean, I could definitely be wrong. I mean, I'm looking at all these coaches. I mean, Will Stein, Golding, Levy, Golish, Beamer, Silverfield, Clark Lee Motors.
Summerall Priming.
You know who I left out? And y'all, this is on y'all too.
Who?
I'll take the blame for 99.9% of this. Y'all didn't even let me put Eli Drinkwitz in a tier. Y'all totally missed.
I just assumed
he's got to be in the third tier, if not the second, not in the bottom part of the second tier, just from winning in Columbia, Missouri. And I know they're far from special and, all that, but man, whoever's doing their roster construction and their general manager / portal, I mean, they picked off some good players and been pretty soft. They haven't been Ole Miss, but they've been just a step below Ole Miss, but they've had some good players.
No doubt.
And they've won games.
That's where you put
and he grabbed Ahmad Hardy, who was out of the state of Mississippi and went over to La Monroe. And then Ahmad Hardy ran for 300 yards on Mississippi State's defense, and Coleman Hutzler. I mean, Coleman Hutzler will make you a first or second round pick as a running back. I mean, Scattaboo, Ahmad Hardy. I mean, he'll give you a coming out party nationally.
No doubt.
Nobody knew who the hell Cam Scattaboo was 2 years ago.
No.
He runs for 9,000 yards late at night out in the desert, in Tempe. The rest is history. Ahmad Hardy, 300. Everybody in the stadium and watching on TV knew he was going to run the football, and they couldn't. What do you average? 8.4 yards per carry?
Yeah, something like that. So wait, so I mean, I need
Drink's got to be in the third tier or second.
Which one?
It's hard to win at Missouri. I'll put him in the second tier.
I like that. Okay, because he's won over and over, and he keeps winning.
Well, he's gone back-to-back seasons where they've been pretty damn good.
Yeah,
considering they're Missouri.
Running back to that hardball.
I mean, Mississippi State would give their left what to have that kind of success that Eli Drinkwitz just had.
Big time.
Ole Miss just went on the greatest run. Now they're going to they're going to gradually take steps back, but with Golding and John David Baker. But
he took that job at 36. Drinkwitz.
He was only at App State for 7 minutes.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, he did
1 year at App State.
He did 1 year, at App State, and parlayed that into the Missouri job. He's quirky and weird.
Yeah, he is.
I like him.
Me too. I mean, he's posted
He's funny.
Seasons.
He's not quite like Lane, but he's got some fun stuff.
Oh, he's got to be tier 2, man. He's got 2 double-digit win seasons.
All right,
the last 3.
We'll put him in tier 2.
I like him too.
With DeBoer and Heupel.
Yeah, because what would set?
Y'all should have written down what I said because I'm talking.
I already got it.
Okay.
What would put
tier 1 is Lane and Kirby. That is it. Somebody's arguing with me on the text line. It's no one else. No. It's Lane Kiffin and Kirby Smart's tier 1 in the SEC. There's no one else, and no, it's not Sark.
Is Sark the argument?
I got to read through everything that he's trying to tell me. Diamond Dave Bartu's coming up next on the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Absolutely, I believe an SEC team can win the national championship this year. Yeah. LSU or Georgia could. Diamond Dave Bartu on your offensive and defensive coordinator coming up next. He doesn't like any of them.
You gonna show me the money. Show me the money! Show me the money!
Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show.
You gonna show me the money.
Brought to you by Pearl River Resort.
Show me the money!
And the Golden Moon Casino Vegas-style sportsbook. Bet $50 there. Play award-winning Dancing Rabbit Golf Club for $40.
Show me the money!
And then go to Philip M. Steakhouse, enjoy a bone-in ribeye and some Elijah Craig small batch bourbon. And then head over to the table games and let them know this.
You gonna show me the money.
PearlRiverResort.com. We welcome in Diamond Dave Bartu on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line, Matrix Analytical. What's up, Sunshine? How are you?
Dude, and after you have that medium rare Philip M. steak, you go back to the timeout lounge and bet the over on how many points Kentucky's going to give up in the football game.
For our listeners, Dave Bartu loves Jay Bateman. Okay. As much as he loved all of Mark Stoops' offensive coordinators the last decade, he loves that Will Stein, the new head football coach at Kentucky, hired Jay Bateman, who got fired at A&M. So, and where would Bateman rank as far as defensive coordinators in the SEC, Bartu?
16, baby.
Okay.
I mean, unless it was there any expansion last night? Because if not, then 16.
Was there an expansion last night? That's so good. Okay, let's. We got to start with who has the number one head coach, OC, DC. Sometimes it's a trio. Sometimes it's a guy who's doing both. But who's number one in the SEC in 2026? Coach.
Well, I mean, I think if we're choosing teams, that's going to be the theme of the show, picking guys. I think right now you got to go with LSU. I think you got to go Lane as head coach, Lane as OC, and Baker as DC. Especially, not that Baker's the best defensive coordinator, but the progression he's had at LSU, his career is arcing up, and a lot of people don't realize this because the LSU offense was so bad last year. That was the number 13 scoring efficiency defense in the country. 13 with a horrific offense. And they get a lot of that back. So at least for 2026, to me, what I would project is the best trio, or actually in this case duo of coordinator plus head coach going into this season is going to be at LSU.
Okay. Lane and Baker and the portal class and high school recruiting. This is going to be wild to watch.
It could be wicked. It could be wicked because you look at because they got the kid out of Arizona State, right?
Sam Leavitt.
Yeah, and I've been on the Leavitt train for a while because when you look at the numbers, okay, Leavitt's offensive coordinator at Arizona State is a guy named Marcus Arroyo. And Marcus Arroyo has had several stops in his career. His first time as a play caller, horrific. He sucked. It's terrible. Bottom 20th percentile of all offensive coordinators of the last 17 years in college football. Then he went to Oregon. And he was immediately awesome. Top 25 in scoring efficiency for 3 straight years in a row with a quarterback named Justin Herbert. Then he parlayed that into the UNLV job, and he went right back to having a bottom 10 out of 136 teams in the NCAA offense. Gets fired there for having a terrible offense for his entire time there, and he goes to Arizona State, and immediately the offense is awesome again. I don't think it's him. I think it's Sam Leavitt. I think Sam Leavitt's that kind of quarterback when he's healthy, and that's why, to me, LSU can be so scary because this is a guy that, after 2024 season, this is a guy that I'm putting at the top of my draft watch list as quarterbacks in terms of elevating a program because he carried the bags. Him and Scadaboo carried the bags for Arizona State, and elevated it when the numbers showed this was a bad offensive coordinator. So you pair that with a top 5 OC in Kiffin and LSU talent, which you and I both know. I mean, third most starts in the NFL for the last 15 years is out of LSU. So, whew, baby, buckle up, Buttercup.
Is Lane the craziest head coaching story in the last decade in college football? Bartu?
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. I would love to be able to just sit down. Every once in a while, I think, what guys would I want to sit down and ask the question of, right? It's kind of like I'd love to sit down with Saban and ask him what his first 90 days were at Alabama to get everybody on board with his recruiting protocol, right? Because we know he's a great coach. Everybody knows that, right? And he had great assistants, great coordinators. But I wanted to know what he did to flip recruiting so fast, right? What was that protocol? And for Lane, it would be sitting down with him and trying to dissect at what point did the clock switch? At what point did he suddenly go from being Lane at the Raiders, Lane at Tennessee? It's got to be more than just, people like to say, well, he got older and wiser and more mature. Bull crap. No way. Because most guys, when they're bad, they stay bad, and when they're good, they stay good. You don't have a 180 like this, almost never at the college or the pro level. So I'd like to try to find out where it turned. It was somewhere at FAU, right? So somewhere the recruiting, the coaching, everything that came together long before Ole Miss took a risk on him. And he's been able to maintain that. I think it's one of the most fascinating stories of this century for me in college football is that transition that I have no idea how it happened.
What he did at Ole Miss is just unprecedented. And now he's at LSU, like you said, where you start off with 18 kids from Louisiana in your recruiting class every year. You just got to backfill 7 or 8 dudes, and then he's figured out the portal. Dave Bartu, Matrix Analytical on the Out of Bounds show, powered by Pearl River Resort. All right, Bartu, we were also going through like tiers of head coaches in the league. Mm-hmm. The only 2 I have in tier 1 are Lane Kiffin and Kirby Smart. Would you have more in the SEC than that, or how do you see it, Bartu?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't, because I don't think, you look at the body of work for those 2 guys and what they've done in the SEC. So no, I wouldn't have anybody up there with them. There might be guys with that kind of ceiling potential, but until we've seen it, I don't think it's fair putting anybody up there just based solely on the potential and body of work of their career so far. So to me, 1A, whatever you want to do, because I think if we took all the listeners and you said, okay, we're choosing teams, I think it'd be pretty close to 50-50, half take the offense, half take the defense.
Okay. And Kirby would be your second as far as, would he be second combo of head coach, DCOC?
I was going to say second. I'd probably take Kirby over Lane still, because I just love the defense, and he's the best defensive coordinator of the last 17 years since we've been tracking this stuff. Okay. But you see, secondary staff, the number 2 staff, it's got to be Kirby. I mean, like I just said, Kirby is. I mean, this is your top defensive coordinator. Him and Venables right there. And Bobo is still to me a 4-star plus guy. Special teams, which we don't really talk about that much, but still very important for field position, still solid there. So yeah, that'd be my, not only would it be my 1-2 tier head coach, it'd be my 1-2 coordinator head coach combo of staffing as well.
Okay. What Elko promoted from within?
Mm-hmm.
Don't love that. I like him. I think he's got the stuff. I like him as a defensive coordinator and a head coach at Duke and A&M. He made the college football playoff. Don't love what he did with those guys leaving. And then Sark fired either the number 1 or 2 or 3 defensive coordinator in the country in Pete Kwiatkowski. I don't know what's a bigger – I mean, that's got to be one of the biggest stories in college football outside of Lane going to LSU is Kwiatkowski getting fired at Texas, right?
Oh, I mean, it was. I thought I was being catfished, right? I mean, I thought it was. I thought there was no way this is. No, when it happened, I'm looking at it. It comes across my social media, and I'm like, what? You're firing one of the top 3 defensive coordinators in college football, and a defensive coordinator that has carried your butt for the last 3 years. That is a defensive first team the last 3 years. You know, I mean, the offense has been regressing, and you fire that guy. You know, and you know, one of my team guys, I look down, I see my phone beep almost as I'm seeing it. Simple words are on the text: Sark gonna Sark. That was it. Sark gonna Sark. You know, and it's something we've said for a long time. That guy figures out a way to lose a game. Always seems to figure out a way to lose a football game he should be winning. And he chronically underperforms the talent he has. But Texas, like a lot of teams, you're stuck with it. What are you going to do? You know, and getting rid of Kwiatkowski, and maybe is mutual. I mean, a lot of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, you and I don't know how the culture works. We can't see it. But to replace him with a guy that hasn't called plays in a decade, that is, by the numbers, is largely overrated as a defensive coordinator. Yeah, he had a couple of good years, but overseeing a defense, running the defenses, I think Texas is going to take a big step back, and I know they're going to be top 5 going into the season. You know, I hope the offense does it, because I just don't think the defense is going to be there with Will.
Outside of Kiffin and Smart, if you were an athletic director, Dave Bartu, and you had to hire one of the SEC coaches outside of Kiffin, and you can't hire Kiffin or Kirby.
Okay.
Would it be Summerall, Heupel, or someone else, Bartu?
It'd be Drinkwitz.
Okay.
Right? And I'm not saying that because I think he's the best. Understand your question, right? I'm an athletic director. What's the most important thing for me as an athletic director?
Having a coach that's proven that he can win in the league already?
Keep my job.
Oh, yeah. Okay, got it.
Right. You know, and I'm saying this to everybody listening. Don't put your fan hat on when you're seeing decisions. Put that down and put yourself in somebody's shoes, right? I'm an athletic director, right? I have a family. I want to keep my job. I want to keep my reputation, right? And yeah, I do want to win, but I also don't want to lose. And so often we get caught up in the ceiling without looking at the floor. And so when you take away Lane from me and you take away Kirby, then I'm going, okay, what's my highest floor? And I like Eli. His bad years are still good enough to keep my job. Right? Now, it depends on how my pile of chips. You and I have had the pile of chips conversation all the time. I'm an athletic director. I'm at the poker table. How big is my pile of chips? Right? Jeremy Foley had, I mean, the stack was so high, he couldn't see around it. Right? I mean, he could have gone to Orlando, hired Mickey Mouse, gone 0-48. He'd still have his job. Right. You know, so a lot of it depends on how big a stack of chips an athletic director has in front of him.
Okay.
But based on your question, I want to win and keep my job. I'm going with Eli Drinkwitz.
And then I guess Heupel and maybe Summerall would come into play after that.
So Summerall would come into play. His grade is very, very good, right? But we don't know how portable he is between Group of Five and Power Four in the SEC. And so, again, this goes back to downside risk, right? I feel that Summerall right now maybe has a bigger upside potential than Eli, but I think Eli's downside is less scary, and that's why I'd go that direction.
Okay.
So you feeling me on that one?
Yeah. And you think Tennessee fans are crazy for even thinking about getting rid of Josh Heupel?
Well, who are you going to replace him with?
Exactly.
Right? I mean, you go through the SEC. Who are you trading Josh Heupel for? You trading him for Stein? No. Right? Maybe you trade him for Eli, but Eli's not leaving Missouri for Tennessee, so that's nuts. Elko? Probably not. Silverfield? No. You go down through the list. Who are you actually trading him for in the country? And then maybe what? There's 15, 20 guys? Then how many of them are available? 0.
Right.
So, you know, just keep sipping and hope that Knowles gets to stick around for the next 3 or 4 years to get the defense in order, because Heupel's been close. He's had the offense, didn't have the defense, had the defense, didn't have the offense. It's a teeter-totter with him. He just hasn't been able to balance players on both coaches and players and performance on both sides of the ball. He's just really close. He just hasn't broken through. So I really believe in him. But I think with Knowles, you've got to be patient. It's going to be at least 3 years for him to get you where you want to be, because his stuff takes a long time to integrate into a program.
Bar 2 on the Out of Bounds show, Matrix Analytical, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, brought to you by award-winning Elijah Craig Small Batch Bourbon. Bar 2 talking coaching grades and who's trending up and who's trending the wrong way. All right, let's go to the state of Mississippi. Let's do Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Let's start with Pete Golding, he's doing a dual role like some guys. Mm-hmm. All right. So he's the head coach in D.C., and then you got John David Baker as the OC. Rank him.
Well, you know how I'm ranking him as head coach, right? You don't rank him. He hasn't been a head coach yet, right? And I know some people want to go, well, Dave, look what he did in the playoffs. Come on, man. Really? Laying there for 5 years, building all that culture and continuity up, and you're giving it all to him for a month of football games? Can't do that. Just can't. I'm not saying he's bad, but I'm not, anointing him as the next great head coach out there. We do know he's a really good defensive coordinator, right? We easily put him in the top 10. It's portable. He's done it at 2 different places. He had a top 10 defense at Alabama. He did great things with the talent at Ole Miss. So from the standpoint of, do we expect the defense to be awesome at Ole Miss? Yeah, we do. That's one of the reasons why he was hired. But as a head coach, there's really no grade there. John David Baker is a bit of an enigma for me right now, because he only had 2 years of play calling. His first year at East Carolina, really solid. He turned it around. He progressed it. He did great things at East Carolina. And then the second year, it regressed quite a bit. He still had a decent second year, but he lost all of his explosiveness. It was 136 in explosiveness. Yikes. Okay, there's only 136 teams. It was the most unexplosive team in college football relative to the schedule and talent last year. Okay, and I think he got going too fast. He got too confident in what he did, because he was number 1 pace of play at East Carolina in 2025. Snapped the ball faster than anybody else, but what that did, it also forced a ton more plays on the defense. And that's my number 1 concern with Ole Miss in 2026, is that with Golding and his defense, he's faced about 69.8 plays per game in his career. Okay. John David Baker at East Carolina forces almost 2 more drives per game on the defense. So I think there's going to be some growing pains in the relationship with the defensive coordinator, Pete Golding, and the new offensive coordinator. What I hope, if you're an Ole Miss fan, I hope John David can dial it back. Can you still be aggressive but not call plays as fast? Because that high pace of play hasn't proven to work in the SEC, and it's really difficult to marry that together. So I think that, to me, going into 2026 is the biggest question mark, is that offense and the defense. But if Trinidad's back, just his skill level might be able to overcome that sort of balance. Right. I'm looking long term, though, as well, is can you have that kind of pace of play and keep, especially now, we talk about roster depth all the time. Can you keep that high pace of play throughout a season with limited roster depth? I think come the second half of the season, especially in November, if the pace of play isn't adjusted for, I think the defense is going to struggle, and I think you're going to see injuries pile up, and you might see a fade out of Ole Miss in November if it doesn't get along very well.
Bar 2 on the Out of Bounds show, Matrix Analytical. What about Mississippi State? Jeff Lebby's the head coach and OC, and hired Zach Arnett.
Oh, yeah, well, something. Zach is a great stabilizer, veteran guy, and when you look at his career, it's a high floor, low ceiling. Okay, he's never had elite defenses, but he's never really laid a stinker. It's just really consistent football, and I think that is what we're hoping for, right? You know, you and I talking about it is, can we get the defense into the top 100?
Right.
Right? You know, because I mean, we're talking about. I haven't looked at the numbers, but the last 2 years may be the worst 24-game stretch in the SEC defensively in this century, the last 25 years. You know, I mean, it was 109th 2 years ago. It was 99th last year. And I don't ever remember seeing a whole lot of defenses outside the top 75 in the SEC in the last 10, 15 years. A bunch of offenses. Those were all at Kentucky, but not a lot of defenses. and so Arnett, his familiarity, you know, the culture that he can bring, the defense, I think he'll improve that. The offense is still the big question mark, right? Because Jeff has been a play caller now for 4 years, 2 at Oklahoma, 2 at Mississippi State, and he's had a top 50 scoring efficiency offense one time in 4 years. And he has an incredible track record as a quarterback coach. He hasn't been able to find the offense yet.
Right.
And I'm sure that's really frustrating for State fans, because you look around college football right now and it's like, man, good coaching is a premium now. We're seeing that talent doesn't necessarily win all the football games. And a guy like Cignetti, who has the best coaching staff and head coach combination in college football right now, can win with lesser talent. So why aren't we winning with lesser talent in Starkville? Right? You know, and then the field is more level, yet we're 3-9 and 4-8, and our offense isn't in the top 50. So more than the defense improving, which you have to have, I would imagine State fans, and you can give me the temperature on this, are really waiting for that breakthrough offense they haven't seen yet.
No, they haven't. And you told me a couple of weeks ago he finished 60th in offensive scoring efficiency, adjusted to talent played.
Mm-hmm.
And the year before it was I think in the 90s. So hasn't had a top 50 offense in Starkville yet. All right, that was, dude, you were on fire today. I mean, you just, I got to give you, I mean, it's like 3:30 in the morning out there, and you just bring it. And I'm glad that you've got Bailey's in your coffee. Light a cigar, go talk to the deer and everything, and I'll call you later, okay?
All right, buddy.
See you, bud.
On. Take it easy.
Dave Bartu, Diamond Dave Bartu, walking you through some of the coaching rankings. I think he hit on something there, is that as bad as Coleman Hutzler's been, and he's been awful, is that Levy hasn't gotten the offense going. And you got to get that thing rolling with Camario and Fluff. And I don't know if you can with Phil Holt as offensive line coach. But, yeah, I mean.
Never say never, but never.
I don't know. We are the Out of Bounds Show. We're brought to you by Mississippi Smart Homes. If you want the coolest surround sound system for your house, for your movies and your music and your games and March Madness and the Masters, call Jake Manning today. MSSmartHomes.com. Jake Manning, MSSmartHomes.com. We'll see you tomorrow.